Hello, moikka. In this video, I'd like to talk about something you should know before moving to Finland, or in other words, what I wish I knew before moving to Finland. Like lately, if you search online, like some sort of contents about like same topic, you can find a lot of them. And common answers would be, for example, Finnish climate, like don't underestimate darkness in winter, it's really cold, or also some bureaucracy, Finnish education systems, or cost of living, work culture, and so on. But in this video, I want to feature only 2 points, which in my opinion would be really important to know. And the first point is not specifically about Finland, it's more about moving abroad or living abroad in general. And the second point is a bit more specifically related to Finland. And the reason why I decided to make video is lately I met some new people who just moved to Finland, and I heard their story and experience, and I realized they are facing several different challenges, but there's always one like common challenge among them. And that's something I also faced in Finland, and also when I was doing my exchange in Canada, I was facing similar like issues. So it's not issue, it's more like a challenge. So the first thing you should know is it's not very easy to integrate into society or feeling that you are part of the society. It doesn't come naturally, because as far as I know, many people who moved to Finland had really positive impressions about the country. And I understand, because lately if you see some news articles, especially in Japan, like they always tell you positive impressions about Nordic countries or Scandinavian countries, and Finland is always part of it, like how great Finnish education is, the happiest country in the world, it's really peaceful, people are nice, and people having really fancy like fashionable lifestyle and so on. So I think many people have really already positive impressions and expectations towards like the life in Finland, and they move here, but then reality is different. And of course there are different factors, but one common like challenge is that at some point they realize it's not easy to make friends, it's not easy to get to know new people. And as I said, this is not specifically about Finland, but in general, if you live abroad, if you move to a new country, this can be like one tricky part. So first of all, I think it helps if you're about to move to Finland, things don't go that smoothly. You need to take some sort of actions, and you have to be active and proactive if you want to feel that you are somehow part of the society and you make new friends. And usually on the first few weeks or first month, people don't really feel the challenge, because that's what they call honeymoon period, because everything is new, you get a lot of new experiences, so your focus is something like you are in a new country, you're about to start a new life. I would say the positivity wins over some sort of negativity. But then at some point it's really common that you realize you are not meeting new people, because before you move to a new country, let's say in Finland, you have been imagining you get to know a lot of like a local Finnish people, you go to a bar together, you go to the nature together, and it comes like naturally. But no, that's not the reality in many cases. And of course this doesn't apply to everybody, but I think this is a really common thing. If you are now feeling that sort of challenges, that you are not making new friends, it's not enough, you don't feel like you belong to the country or any community, that's okay, that's really natural thing. So knowing this already helps, so don't try to be stressed about it. And also it highly depends on how you move here. If you move as a student, it's relatively easier to make new friends, because there are many events, and anyway you meet new people at classes, for example. But situation would be different if you move here for work, you don't have family here, or if you get married to a Finnish person, move here, like, and so on. But anyway, I have been thinking what kind of actions would be like helpful if you are facing that challenge, because it's easy to list this as a challenge that you face when living abroad, or this is something you should know. Things don't go always smoothly, but the important way of thinking is what can we do in that case. I don't have the perfect answer, but one solution which came to my mind would be trying to have many touch points to the society. Like for example, maybe I can list some examples of my friends' cases. I have one friend who was actually my previous co-worker. His hobby was chess. So he belonged to this some sort of chess club in the local municipality, and there he was able to meet new people, and also he went to this main library, Oodi, because on the first floor there was a space where people can just go and play chess with some random people, and he even made some friends as far as I know. So with the use of hobby, you can somehow try to create the touch points to the new society or community where you get to meet new people. And another thing is you could maybe try to use social media. Like for instance, I made some friends in Twitter because I have been sharing some sort of recipes of Japanese food, and one person who lived in Helsinki wrote me that he used my recipe, his family is happy, and we started talking, and finally I visited his place and I got along with him and with family as well. So it worked. And my friend has been also making TikTok videos, and she made like friends there, first of all online, and now I think she's hanging out with some new people from TikTok. And then again, my example is when I was living in another city, I registered this language exchange system. So the municipality was organizing that sort of events, and I got my buddy with whom I was able to speak Finnish, and she was practicing Japanese with me. And even though now we live in different cities, we sometimes catch up, and when I have time I visit their place too. And another thing which I have been lately thinking is joining some sort of volunteering might be a good opportunity as well. But anyway, one point I want to highlight here is if you are thinking of moving to Finland, it will be really important to think about how you want to make friends, how you want to feel that you are part of the society. So is it through your hobbies, some volunteering works, or only your workplace? So already thinking that sort of ideas or doing some sort of exercise in your brain would be really helpful if you could do that before moving here. And as I said, this is not just about Finland, but in general, because I heard a lot from my expat friends who live abroad. They list this as one common challenge. So if you're watching this video, regardless of your Finnish or foreigner living in Finland or other countries, please feel free to share your comments or ideas. I think that would help a lot to somebody who want to find some ideas now. And the second point is social norms in Finland. In my opinion, this is something you should definitely know before moving here. Of course, you can't know everything, but at least you should try to learn it before moving here. Because I realized when Finnish people see foreigners and when they behave based on social norms, like common social norms in Finland, I think they appreciate it. That's my finding. And of course it can be divided into different aspects or categories, like for example equality or personal space, like your behavior in public. And this can be quite tricky if the social norms in your country or in your culture is really different from what it is common in Finland. And one example could be in Finland, it's quite quiet in public transport. You can of course talk, you can call over the phone with somebody, but still people do it not in a loud way. And that's something people appreciate, and I also like it as well. But then if you start doing video calls with a loud voice, and if you don't even use earphones, or if you just watch some videos without earphones and people are kind of disturbed, that's something you want to avoid. And usually Finnish people don't try to tell them like, hey, can you be quiet? Because I think they don't want to create any complications or some difficult situations. And even though they don't tell you, I can easily see that they're not feeling comfortable. Because I'm sure in many other countries, it can be pretty normal thing, or the level of quietness might be different. And lately, if you see some social media contents, some of them are quite exaggerated, and they might say, yeah, Finns are not sociable, not friendly at all. But I think they are quite friendly if you know the person well. But still, the distance and how you get to know the person or how you talk to the strangers are quite different here compared to some other countries. Like for instance, I did some shopping a few weeks ago and the staff was helpful and friendly, but when I bought the product, he asked me if I want to follow his Instagram, and he said, yeah, we can go for coffee. But I was like, no, I don't want to because I don't know you. Yeah, somehow I was feeling quite uncomfortable, and I had to ask my Finnish colleagues that, hey, is it normal here? I don't think so, and they agreed that it's not really common here. Those are small things, but I think in order not to make others uncomfortable, I think it's better to avoid, that kind of aggressiveness. And under these social norms, another point which came to my mind is punctuality, because being late can be considered rude. And I have seen many situations, especially during my student time, where there are so many different people from other countries are like doing group works together, and some groups, including mine, had some difficulties, doing some sort of work because some people have totally different sense of time. But then in general, if you work with Finnish people, they are usually on time, they appreciate being punctual, but things don't work always with different people, and when they think, okay, my time is ruined, then people can get mad. Or even if they don't look like they are mad, at least they will think you are not that trustworthy enough. And I really know how Finns feel because I also appreciate punctuality. And those are like small things, but if you are not following it, it could be like one critical reason why you don't get respect from people. And these social norms can be pretty complicated and a tricky part, because even if you read it, it's not always easy to behave like that, especially if you grew up with completely different culture and your way of thinking is already solid enough, so it's not easy to change as well. And another example which I experienced can be related to equality. So it's also important part of social norms here, in my opinion. So I went to a cafe with my female friend. It was on my first month in Finland, and she was younger than me, and I just tried to pay her coffee just because I was older, I'm a man. It can be quite common in Japan. But she said, no, being a man or being older cannot always be a reason that you pay. So luckily it didn't cause any issues. I kind of learned the hard way, maybe not too hard, but still something I should have known beforehand. And I know there are so many other points as well. I mean, something before you move to Finland or abroad in general. But today I wanted to highlight these 2 points. So the first one was, it's not always, easy to make friends, and also your life might not be as ideal as you imagined in the beginning. But it's okay. I mean, I think many people go through that phase. So don't worry, and you can still try to create different solutions on your own. And there are different opportunities as well if you look for it. And the second point was social norms. And this was somewhat bit more specific about Finland, but at least in my opinion, those ones are quite important points as well. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and if there are some other topics which you think I should cover in my videos, please feel free to let me know. See you!